What if I told you that some of the greatest inventions in history were not created in modern laboratories or futuristic factories, but thousands of years ago by civilizations we often underestimate? Imagine uncovering a device so advanced that it seems out of place in its own time, like a visitor from the future accidentally left behind. These are not science fiction stories. They are real discoveries, real artifacts, and real ideas that challenge everything we think we know about progress. Today, we are going to explore 5 ancient inventions that were far ahead of their time. By the end, you may wonder whether history is hiding more secrets than we are ready to admit. Let's begin with a puzzle from ancient Greece. More than 2,000 years ago, sailors pulled up a corroded mass of bronze gears from a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera. At first glance, it looked like nothing more than junk. But when researchers studied it, they realized it was a machine so advanced, it seemed impossible for its age. Today we call it the Antikythera mechanism. What was it? A computer. Not in the digital sense, but a mechanical one, designed to predict the movement of the stars, the phases of the moon, and even the timing of the Olympic Games. Imagine turning a crank and watching the heavens align in miniature. It was a precise tool, made with the kind of engineering skill we associate with Swiss watches, not with the ancient world. How could Greek craftsmen, more than 2 millennia ago, create something so sophisticated that nothing like it would appear again for over 1,000 years? Some say it proves ancient civilizations had knowledge we cannot fully explain. Others suggest we underestimate their intelligence and craftsmanship. But one thing is certain: the Antikythera mechanism rewrites our assumptions about the past. Now let's shift our focus east, to India, where we find another invention that feels strangely modern. Centuries before Europe discovered the power of steel, Indian metallurgists were perfecting it. They created a material so strong and so pure that it baffled scientists for centuries. It is known as Damascus steel, but its secret began in India with a process called Wootz steel. This material was forged into swords that could slice through armor, bend without breaking, and stay sharp beyond belief. Legends say a blade of Damascus steel could cut a silk scarf in mid-air. The secret recipe for Wootz steel was lost, and for centuries, modern metallurgists struggled to reproduce it. Only recently, with the help of nanotechnology, have scientists begun to understand its hidden structure. Imagine that. Blacksmiths working in smoky forges 2,000 years ago were manipulating carbon at the nanoscale without even knowing what atoms were. They may not have had our words for it, but they had the results. This was not just metallurgy, it was chemistry and physics centuries ahead of schedule. But the mysteries do not stop there. Travel back to the deserts of Mesopotamia, and you will discover a simple object that could light up the night. Archaeologists unearthed clay jars, each containing a copper cylinder, an iron rod, and traces of an acidic liquid. To modern eyes, they look like primitive batteries. We call them the Baghdad batteries. Were they really ancient power sources? Some experiments suggest that if you fill these jars with vinegar or lemon juice, they generate a small but measurable electric current, enough to power a simple device, perhaps to electroplate objects with gold or silver. Imagine priests or artisans holding what looks like a piece of pottery, but secretly, it is a source of invisible energy. Electricity was not supposed to be discovered until millennia later. Yet, here we are, staring at jars that seem to whisper otherwise. Skeptics argue they might have been used for storage or ritual. Believers insist they are proof that ancient people were experimenting with forces we credit to modern science. Either way, the Baghdad batteries remain one of history's most electrifying enigmas. Now, picture yourself in the skies, not on land. The story takes us to ancient Egypt, where in 1898 a small wooden object was discovered in a tomb at Saqqara. At first, it looked like a toy or a simple carving, shaped like a bird. But closer inspection revealed something astonishing. The object had wings, a fuselage, and even a tail fin. In other words, it resembled a glider or an airplane. We now call it the Saqqara bird. Some researchers believe it was a symbolic artifact, representing the soul flying to the afterlife. But others see in it something much bolder. Evidence that the Egyptians were experimenting with the principles of aerodynamics thousands of years before the Wright brothers. When replicas of the Saqqara bird were built to scale and tested, some of them glided with surprising stability. Was this a coincidence? Was it a religious symbol? Or was it a model of a craft the ancients imagined might actually fly? No one can say for sure. But the very possibility stretches our understanding of how curious and inventive human minds have always been. Finally, let us move to the city of Rome, the empire that built aqueducts, roads, and structures still standing today. Among its many wonders, there is one that seems almost magical: Roman concrete. Unlike the concrete we use today, which often cracks and decays within decades, Roman concrete has survived for over 2,000 years, enduring waves, earthquakes, and time itself. Modern engineers puzzled over this mystery until they discovered the secret. The Romans mixed volcanic ash into their concrete. When cracks formed, the material reacted with water and essentially healed itself. Self-healing concrete. Something our most advanced labs are only now trying to perfect. Already mastered by Roman builders long ago. Imagine if our cities today were built with the same resilience. Bridges, skyscrapers, and homes might last centuries without costly repairs. The Romans did not just build monuments. They built endurance into stone, embedding the wisdom of permanence into their cities. So here we are, looking at 5 astonishing inventions: the Antikythera mechanism, Wootz steel, the Baghdad batteries, the Saqqara bird, and Roman concrete. Each one raises questions. How did ancient people create things so advanced? Were they simply geniuses working with limited tools? Or did they inherit forgotten knowledge from cultures even older? Some whisper about lost civilizations, others about guidance from beyond the stars. The truth may be simpler, yet just as profound. Human curiosity has always been restless. Wherever people lived, they looked at the world and tried to shape it, to bend it, to master it. The inventions that survive are proof that innovation is not a modern luxury. It is a timeless part of being human. But think about the gaps. How many discoveries were made, then lost, only to be reinvented centuries later? How many secrets still lie buried, waiting to shock us into rethinking our history? When you hold a smartphone today, you might think of it as the pinnacle of human achievement. But perhaps, in some forgotten age, someone held a device just as wondrous for their time. The pattern of progress is not a straight line. It is a series of waves, sometimes crashing forward, sometimes pulling back, always leaving traces for the next generation to uncover. And now comes the question I want to leave with you. If civilizations thousands of years ago could create computers of bronze steel, of incredible strength jars that hold electricity, gliders shaped like birds, and concrete that heals itself, what else might they have discovered that we have not yet found? What artifacts lie hidden beneath sands, seas, or ruins, waiting to rewrite our story once again? History is not finished. It is alive, unfolding with every discovery. So tell me, which of these inventions amazed you the most? Do you believe they were just the product of human brilliance? Or do you think there is more to the story, something lost, something hidden? Share your thoughts below, because I want to know what you think. And if you enjoyed traveling through time with me today, don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. There are countless more mysteries waiting to be explored, and together we will uncover them, one story at a time. The past may seem far away, but with every secret revealed, it feels closer, stranger, and more connected to our future than we ever imagined.